where let's make 20 passes before you shoot, get the wide open shot. Well, I come down the floor, and if you, a lot of people here remember the old hash marks on the court.
You couldn't shoot from there.
One game you foul out of, and that place was packed over there.
And that place would have been wall to wall because Decatur Eisenhower Gymnasium held about maybe head. And
That's not amazing.
Exactly.
But it was we were down like 3 points, and he walked to the end of the floor, and there was a trash can down there, one of those paper trash cans, probably made in Lincoln, Illinois. And he kicked it, and his foot got stuck in it. He kicked a hole in it, and Ed Hightower was the official, and he teed him up from the bench. Well, he was on the sprint to get Hightower right then, and John Welch and we grabbed him and said, "No, don't aim." And I mean, God dang, Quincy, I mean, they had 6'10", 6'7", 6'6". Douglas boys, Payne, they all played in the Big Ten. They all were all-stars in the Big Ten. And our tallest guy was Stan Werner, and he was the biggest around as that emergency bar on that thing. Dan was 6'5" and weighed about 165. And I'm telling you, the Douglas boys were men. They were men. And that game was just unbelievable. But it could have been something else. Because that gym,
oh my God! I'm telling you what, those were men's games. And whoever on that field behind the basketball court, they lost at least 4 or 5 rows of corn every year because of fouls he did to us.
So if you're on Dan's team, you won.
Yeah, but he would never put me on his team. He had many names for me.
There were some great games there, though.
Yes, there was.
Unbelievable games there. Danny
Classic.
I only say classic.
Yeah, we played Carl Golston. Wendell College. Just playing in a college stadium and all the atmosphere and sellout. But Golston ended up playing in the pros for a while, and he was a serious guard.
Yeah. Big time.
You're in your story, guys. Last night I reminded Duff the time he hit me in the head with an apple before practice at Carroll.
Yeah, we don't have to go over that.
We used to have apple fight before coach would get there, and I got one in the head one time. It's probably affecting me more. Duff rubbed it all off for me to make sure I didn't tell Coca, so I didn't knock him out. But
you'd be on CBS right now, but now you're on the cheap sheet.
Totally.
thanks, Dan.
Oh, no problem.
Well, this guy do nothing. It was always, we're going to find a game somewhere, someone's playing. And, you know, he treats everybody equal and really is a great person, but he would absolutely get everybody in the county, around the county, rooting for Lincoln and Daniel.
And how excited was back then to come out for the game and get announced? I mean, it always has been, but back in those days, it started all that stuff around, and boy, it was cool.
The greatest one was always Dan. Place just freaking go.
So that was like huge. Almost every year.
Huge drive.
Well, that's what my wife reminded me. She was so fired up coming out, and Lauren had that ugly.
I totally remember that. And it was almost right before introductions or something.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to switch with one of the guys in line right there, and they wore the sweats out, and I got to wear their shorts out. And yeah, it was something.
I saw you stop by and visit Carroll, too.
I did. I had to go back and go to where it all started.
You saw the hardwood now, but boy, back then it was that.
Absolutely, but it was good to go back and see Carol and David Welch now is the principal, and he was a little brother growing up the whole time, but just
no, you're good. I was just going to say this about Coach Wallace, because I came in here from Middletown my senior year, and I'd been played against Danny and I were talking last night about we played against each other the first time when I was in the 6th grade. He was in the 5th grade at Carroll Catholic, and then we went to camps together, basketball camps, and Doug Collins up in Bloomington, and then when I came in my senior year and played for Coach Wallace, I swear the toughness, the intensity, the mind over matter stuff that you had to have to get through practices. I'm talking practices. It was like when games were played, I never knew.
Hey, we're out the Lincoln Banquet Center. If you want to stop out and see us, come by the back door. These guys are going to be out there hanging around for a while. We're going to go to a commercial and hear from the sponsors. When we come back, we got Tony Simples in the house and got some ex-football players in here who want to come in and see Coach Flowers. So we're going to be out there for, I don't know, another hour or so. So stop by and see us. We'll be back.
Everybody knows. Hey, just tell me a story about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I tried looking. Every once in a while it starts operating.
So I don't know if it was my TV was buffering or is it overall talking? Yeah. Something I can do to get it better? I mean,
yeah, it must be working now.
Focus on line work. I don't care about ears. Right. I want to make sure that people get
Yeah.
So that's what I know that's something that's how to connect directly. Right.
White Kirby. I apologize that I'm a Phillies fan. I've got a friend who's a Braves fan. I've got some baseball work fine. Yeah. Okay. All right. Super. Should I get you
Yeah.
I've got a script with me, but maybe I'll find it tonight so it's not so noisy in here. Just something for you to read. Okay. Kevin Feige, All right, super. Thank you.
Quality and knowledge of Four Corners Lube, located at 1101 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Now for the best service possible. Open Monday through Saturday, featuring Husqvarna brand equipment. Phone 217-735-2761. Four Corners Lube, home of a full-service in and out oil change.
Really
remodeled and completely updated, the Christian Village is Lincoln's only faith-based retirement community and is the area's leader for independent, assisted, and skilled senior living and healthcare services. The Christian Village at 1507 7th Street offers a wide array of living options for older adults, such as independent living, rehabilitation, skilled nursing, and memory care. For private consultation and tour of the campus, please phone 217-732-2189. The Christian Village in Lincoln, a community of compassion. Jake's Furnishings in Lincoln has outrageous deals going on now that will allow you to transform every room in your home with top quality furniture like Ashley brand and the full line of Benco mattresses. Whether it's outfitting your living room, family room, dining room, or breakfast nook, Jake's Furnishings in Lincoln will save you more than the big box store and will leave you money to select the best Benco mattresses, which are also on sale in all sizes now at Jake's. And you'll also love the full line of gorgeous bedroom outfits, which just arrived and are priced to sell in many styles: contemporary, modern, classic, and traditional, just to name a few. For more details and to ask about free financing, stop by the Jake's Furnishing Showroom located at 1100 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Check out their all-new website at jakefurnishings.com. Phone 735-1212.
Can't hear. Okay. Oh, I heard something. Anything that no. There it is.
I got nothing.
Are we on?
You got something?
I got something.
That's all we need. I got nothing.
Well, okay, hey, I guess we are back. We're at Lincoln Vegas, and we're joined now. Tony said just jumped on with us, Coach Flowers, and we're joined by some players now that want to come out here and say hey to Coach Flowers. Let's go around here and talk where you want to start. Tony, all right, let's start with you. Can you just tell us a little about where you've been and what's been going on, and then we're going to come back to you and really get into your life.
No, that's just wonderful. First of all, just a great opportunity to come back. Stories and hearing the history and just putting it all together. That's the kind of the backdoor stuff that you know, at the end of the day, it's just we're just raising those kids the best that we know how and trying to give them the opportunities that so they have great opportunities. And so it's been a joy. That's what we're doing.
And for those of you that maybe have lost track, Tony played for Coach Flowers out in Memphis, and then went on. Played for the Detroit Lions and most famously with Barry Sanders. Probably the most famous guy, right? Would you say?
Yeah, but I don't think he stands on his own. He didn't need the accolades for me.
I saw him get a block or two for it.
You know, that guy was just magic, and there's not a lot of guys that have a record 10 years, 10 seasons, right? That guy still goes to Pro Bowl. That speaks volumes, right? It's not like, hey man, he's always on a championship team. This guy was class. He had compounding years too, right? Let's talk about that great comparison is not really a comparison when you break it down. You go even years to years, no comparison. But when you add 3 more years on it, you're like, hey, passed him up. Well, sure, yeah. Just, you know what? You still wanted the greatness. You still wanted the great one. The only other running back that I can, growing up, that I could ever say was on the same platform would be Walter. You know, I mean, he walked everything that guy did was amazing, right? And I never saw that touched until I had the opportunity to block for Barry. But I got to tell you this funny story because I know it's going to come up, and I'd rather just get it out now. Let me say, hey, we're going to pick Barry Sanders. I'm like, oh yeah, Barry. I knew that. Why do you do that? Do you not get excited? He goes, oh, I get excited. He said, you guys see these guys that dance in the end zone and they go nuts and they just look crazy. He says, that's because it was an accident. They got there and they don't know if they're coming back. He says, I know every time I touch the ball, I should be back. So I tossed the ball to the official and I said, I'll be back. Hey, what was it like that first day that you walked out there and you walked in, you went to the place and they let you inside and then you walked in and they said, well, go down this hallway around the corner over here, that's your locker room. And you made that really surreal, waiting for an opportunity to just get to where we're at, and it's like, no.
a professional football player. I want to long snap me one, and let's throw some names out there. Go ahead.
Yeah, Justin Teese played wide receiver and safety, and it was a great experience playing for Coach Flowers.
We're going to talk about that season, and then we got Washington.
I got Rick Washington here. I played outside linebacker, tight end, and it's great to be here and see you, John. One of the most competitive guys I've ever met in my life, and he knows how to hit.
And there's a lot of things you can't do anymore.
He's coming back.
Well, I was say we're going to let you talk, but I really want to focus on that season. That's why we had some of these guys come out. We're not missing anybody, right, that was on that team. You know, let's talk about that season because it was I've said this for years, jumping to the Morris game. If we win that game, I feel like we're probably state champions. And what a miserable day for the option offense and the fumble. We're going to talk about that game, talk about that season. You guys talk, not me. Go ahead.
Well, my first year, we finished 3-6. What we won the last 4 years, we were 2-7, 0-9, 2-7, 0-9, and I had a team meeting of anybody who wanted to play next year, and those two, every one of them, they said we'd love to have a winning season. An assistant coach, so I was going to call the offense and the defense. I was going to call it all, and I was tired of the way that things were, and so we opened up with a masterful overtime. Apologize to you guys because we won. Okay.
We're just not hearing that.
And so that's when I asked Ken Schweitzer, my assistant. I said, Ken, you got to call the defense. He said, oh no. I said, no, you're going to call the defense because I can't stay up with the game on both sides because I need to make corrections on offense, and you need to call the defense. If I see something wrong, I'm going to let you know, but you're going to have to call the defense. So we played Champaign Central Catholic the next game and won by a whopping 2 points, and but they were a pretty good football team. They were always a 2A state champion. Finished the game tied 0-0. Out there at boot. Man, this team is going to go big time. So after that game, I said, win season goal or strike, and they hadn't played, and that was their first game. That was like our 4th or 5th game, and they were full of fire, and we were trying to struggle to get through our 4th or 5th game of the year. And but after we lost that game, it was over. Nobody was going to stop us, and that's a tribute to these kids. They learned what it took to be successful, and it took a lot of hard work, and it took an old, or then a young football coach, just teach them in offense. So I mean,
count them up.
It's pretty simple. It's not, and so we run that veer, and man, I'm telling you what, everybody learned that, hey, if it's coming left, it was Lincoln left and Railer right, baby. So
and how about the confidence in the Cookie Monster? So he's only a sophomore in his second or third.
He quit twice.
Good thing you kept him around.
It's a good thing he came back. But these guys here that are sitting here are the reason. I mean, they were seniors, except for a couple, and but I'm telling you what, they wanted to win. And if you want to win, and you give them the inspiration to do so, I was tough on them. But it's a tough game. And if you're going to win, you got to be tougher than the guy you're playing against. Justin Teese wanted the ball thrown to him every play.
Why not?
Every play. That's exactly right. And so, it's just, it was so much fun. And I was so disappointed that we lost that game at Morris.
Well, I was going to say, let's move ahead. If you have any experience and stuff you want to throw them out. Otherwise, and from here on out. But I want to cut to that Morris game because That game really was a miserable day to play, and we had more. I mean, I think we were the better football team. I mean, you guys speak up there, nobody else is talking, but something about Morrissey, everyone else talking.
It was a fun day to play. 30 degrees and raining.
Started out in snow and ended up in rain.
Miserable.
Yeah.
The entire day.
Yeah.
I think the ride over, it rained and snowed, and the entire game and the ride back. It was unbelievable.
You couldn't hardly reach
Mud.
You guys made it. Probably there's somebody here that was
Right near our own end zone.
Yeah.
We were backed up. We were backed up, and we let them walk right in.
What was the final score of the game? Do you remember that?
16-0, I think. I believe.
And I thought that we fumbled. I thought we fumbled twice inside the 5 going in, and once inside the 5 going out, which is like 3 touchdown difference there.
Yeah.
And we had a block punt. And I
talk about that.
if you're listening, I apologize.
Go ahead, Coach. Let it.
For some reason, I made him a two-step punter, so we could get the ball off quicker and never have to worry about getting the punt blocked. For some reason, I don't know if he fumbled the ball, because I never even watched the tape of the game. I was so mad. He took 3 steps, and they blocked the punt, and they blocked it on their 25-yard line, so it was another short field. And gave him a few choice words. So I apologize, Terry.
35 years.
It stuck to my hand. And that was illegal. You could not use stickum on a ball. And I handed it to the referee. I said, this is illegal. Throw this ball out of the game. He told me to shut up and take care of my player. I knew we were in real trouble then. And that was before the halftime. So
those guys all work at Morris High School. We know that.
But they were a good football team. They really were. They had 2 guys. Their punter signed a scholarship. I mean, they had good players, and they played in a good league. I'd like to play them again on a dry day. I really would, because we had better team speed. We really did. And they had us scouted very well, but we could still get the ball on the perimeter. And we had guys that could run. Scott Barner, and we could carry a couple years older. We'd even been better.
If we had him. Well, you know what? You guys have been pretty quiet. You want to say something, Tommy, like a favorite part of the season, game, something? Come on.
I'd say the Sacred Heart game was pretty special. I think, didn't we play them in a 7-on-7 passing tournament in the summer before that?
Yes, we did.
And we had words with them.
Yeah.
And we said we wanted to play them again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know who started that, but he's over there next to you, Joe.
I didn't do that.
You started her up.
No, yeah, you did. That was fun, though, Tommy. That Sacred Heart game, that meant a lot.
And we got those guys at home, right? They came
Yeah.
First game of state.
Yeah, as I say, first game of the tournament.
Do y'all remember what we heard our coach saying as we come out of the locker room? He said, I want this over at halftime.
Who's coaching back then there?
Ken Leonard. I heard him tell them football team. He said, I want this thing over at halftime. Well, it didn't. I actually ran into him a couple of times in the last few years. He still hasn't forgotten that game. Neither have I.
He's a good guy.
Yes, he is. And his son's doing a great job also. Yeah. One of the guys that I played college ball with, Ted Wise, coached for him. And he died last year.
I was going to say, I knew
that. Ted and I were at SIU together. He was older than me, but great guy.
Yep.
Great guy. Loved coaching kids. And
No, I just give accolades to Coach Flowers. I mean, I played 3 years of high school of Lincoln Raider basketball, and I played 3 years of football. And the difference was that when we walked on the court for basketball, we knew we were going to win. When we walked on the field, my sophomore year, even my junior year under the first year of Flowers, we didn't know we were going to win. We were just hoping to play good. But by that third game of our senior year, he installed it to us that we had the confidence. And like he said, after the Urbana game that we completely didn't show up to, we walked out on the field and we pounded people. And that's, I mean, I always kind of say we were like the most successful unathletic class that Lincoln's ever had. We went to state in football. We almost went to sectional in basketball, and then the baseball team did really well that year too. So just really a lot of fun memories of being with Coach Flowers those 2 years.
Matt, you want to throw something else? Scotty, you want to put a head to that and say something?
I do got one good story about Coach Flowers. So we were practicing one day, and we weren't doing as well as he would have liked us to do, which was about every other day. And he got all upset, and he'd grab his whistle and he'd throw it behind him, so it'd be on his back. And he went in as running back because the defense wasn't playing. And so he took the ball and started running, and I think he took like 3 yards off, stiff arms. My head was ringing for a week, and he didn't have any pads on. That's how brutal he was sometimes in practice, and it was just good memories.
Thank God for no social media back then.
Hey, I remember you did one. You standing up with Tracy, so you
halftime, you didn't take your helmet off, because it's a lot easier to get slapped upside the head with a helmet on than with a snap on.
Anybody remember the G-force going down, or if it was the ground? But
yeah, hardest hitting team they ever faced. I talked to Tommy Bonaparte, and that was awesome. And personally, my best game, homecoming against Rantoul, 12 tackles.
So the way I remember it, the last game of the year, Normal? They only had one school back then. Normal had to come in.
Coming on and sit around here, enjoy Coach Flowers for a little bit. We're going to talk to Tony a little bit, and then we're going to shut.
Yes, sir.
First 5 years with us here. So, to give it some traction, right? You have my name on it. Now it is Foundation for Hope Outdoor Adventures. And they should go out there and look with a friend of mine. And we created this foundation in 10 days. It's huge, right? And so we have an opportunity to support some people's lives, NFL players coming down. So, I mean, you were in that office that linebacker's not hitting that running back and he doesn't have snot bubble coming out, then he's ripping that linebacker. And if that linebacker's not seeing stars on that hit, he's trying to tell him he's not hitting him hard enough, right? So I think as a culture, we have to change how we train. We have to change, right? Basketball, dexterity, it's all that, baseball, it's timing. And so these attributes to air, they had the pump of air. Problem is, everybody get it in, they pump it at the beginning of the season. They're like, man, I got to pump this up every game. But by the second game, it's flat, and they're just tightening their chin strap. They didn't realize they'd put more air in. And so on the brain, what happens after concussion and understanding. Well, thank you. It's a very good clarification of it. All right, we're about out of time, so I wanted to stop this last part and just throw a question out there. We all talk about Coach Flowers, just what he meant to you and how he influenced your life. Oh, absolutely, anything, right? We're coming off the ball, and he goes, no, and I remember he grabbed him, and I think he took his glasses off, and he grabbed one of his feet on the ground. That's a big deal, right? All these guys have beards, and I'm like, when does that come, Mom? But he himself, Memphis State at that time. And walking through the insecurities of leaving home, the insecurities of going. I remember making a phone call, calling my dad after first, half a season, and I'm like, Dad, I don't know if I can play here. And he was like, what's wrong? And I just said, these guys are just out of my league, Dad. I go, they're just so much bigger and stronger, and and having talks with him and. Just the advice, right? To walk you through the process, and my spiritual journey started there. Got rebaptized in Tennessee through this process, and just what you meant to me. I couldn't put into words other than I wanted to show up and be there for you when you're getting honored at such a high level. Wanted to just say thank you, and you've been so instrumental in my life. And so he is. I mean, the things that they're talking about here,
because the things that he carried over to Memphis. He didn't change. Flowers didn't change. The same things he poured in here, building confidence, talking about fundamentals. He carried that to the University of Memphis, and that's why he's been there since forever. I mean, he's like Yoda. But bigger. I mean, he looks the same, like he's aging like Kenny Rogers, man. I mean, he's just dead on. But he is, here's the saying. When the same thing is said about you over and over and over by different people in different demographic areas, right? Better believe it's probably true, right? And his legacy carries over, and he's respected the same way at the university. He offers so much there, and he has been such a crucial part into turning that program around. But as a player, just inspirational, just a pivotal point in a young boy's career. Trying to find yourself, trying to find out who you are, teaching you how to compete, letting you know what you think is good, and what you think is good, and letting you know the difference, right? Sometimes we think we're giving our best, and it's not until a coach can pull you aside and says, no, I know you think you're giving your best. But I remember him saying, you got to go out and you got to. We had a guy named Rumley, a linebacker named Rumley, and I was on scout team. And I was playing about everywhere, and he's like, you just got to go out and you got to hit, you got to bring it out every play. And he was like, so I remember coming up on our starting linebacker and bam, I hit Rumley and he dislocated his shoulder, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna get cut. And his starting linebacker, this guy was a beast in the line. He was a beast. He looked like Tarzan, and he played like Tarzan. I've seen so many guys look like Tarzan play like Jalen, and I go off, and I remember these coaches scaring me and like, that's what you have to do, but it's every play. And I'm like, you get comfortable, when it's a big play and it's your side, I'll go hard, or maybe I'll go set it. No. So he taught you that the way you thought you had to play, the way you thought you were playing, you thought it big enough, and then he taught you how to elevate that. No, this is the way you bring it. And it was a whole new mindset, but great coaches inspire and pull out greatness out of, they make average players, good players and great players, and that's one of his just fortes, just to be able to be intimate with that person and get the best out of him. Well, pretty nice words, Coach.
Thank you.
You got any replies to that? Besides, thank you. I try to eat up all that time because I know I don't want any stories coming out.
No, and it's, I appreciate those kind words. Tony will be, he'll be on a ballot to be put into the University of Memphis Hall of Fame. Here coming up soon. I haven't told him that yet, but that he'll be put on a ballot. There's a lot of people that deserve that. Another young man that played there named Isaac Bruce. I helped recruit Isaac Bruce. I hope he gets elected in the Hall of Fame. He deserves it. Great player, and that was long before Tony's time.
No, I played with us.
You were there with us.
That's his concussions coming back. I can see it. We'll circle back around. No, Isaac got in the same draft class.
I didn't wear a leather helmet, but it wasn't much better one. So, because I went through a lot of concussions in college, a lot more than I should have. But it's fun to see these kids develop, and the kids that was here, the high school guys, they turned around so fast. It was so much. That season was just a blur because it just kept going and going and going and going. And then I never got to coach him in high school. I never got, except in camps. And Ron Ross is the reason I even knew about Tony. I had been at Memphis for 4 years already, and Ron Ross called and he said, "Hey, you remember a kid named Tony Simple?" I said, "How can you forget a kid named Tony Simple?" I said, he was hyper all the time. I mean, he was never stood still, and I said he was huge whenever he was in elementary school. And he said, "Well, he's 6'5". He's a starting center on the basketball team. He started for defensive end and tight end for me on football. And he qualified for the mile in track." I said, "Wait a minute, how tall is he? 6'5", 200? And he qualified for the mile?" I said, "Nobody does that." I said, I want to see him. So they sent me some film, and I wasn't overly impressed on the film, but I said, "This kid's huge, and he's got all this talent, all this athletic ability." And Charlie Bailey, who we had hired, I was working for at Memphis at the time, and he come out of Florida, and he said, invite that kid down here. I want to see him. So they came to the last game of the year. We were playing Tulsa. It was pouring down rain. The Liberty Bowl looked like it was a water fountain, a waterfall. It was just pouring. And he had a poncho on. And we brought Gene and Tony, his mom and dad, down into the tunnel of the Liberty Bowl. And I took Tony inside to meet the head coach in the football office in the locker room. And Charlie said, take that poncho off. And he shook hands with Tony. And he talked to him for a few minutes. And he says, we got to get ready to go. And I said, I'll be right back out, and I'll take you to your seats. And Coach Bailey said, go offer that boy a scholarship. He said, he's going to freaking be huge. And I said, yeah, I know. So I went out in the tunnel, delivered his dad and his mom, and I said, we're offering him a scholarship. And deer in the head, oh man, you know. So we did. We recruited him, we signed him, and he reported at 6'5.5", 227 pounds. University of Memphis.
I got two of them. I got University.
And right dead center of Illinois, state champs, and we had 8 starters back next year. I mean, I knew I was going to miss Teese and Bunner, but all of our skill guys were coming back, and a lot of them offensive line and defensive line, and I was bound and determined. I told them, we're winning next year. We're winning it all. You don't get to set the goal this year. I'm setting it for you. And so, and then life happens.
Yep, life happens.
The hardest thing I've ever done in my life, the hardest thing, is to call that team meeting and tell them that I was leaving. Lincoln High School. I don't even know if it's still there. Is it? We called on a Sunday afternoon. I came, actually it was on a Monday. I'd gone and interviewed at Memphis, and they offered me the job.
Yeah, what could have happened?
Probably would have been an old dog still here.
Yeah, and Tony, you could have, you ended up starting your junior and senior year out there. I remember the Pancake Awards you talked about. They had Pancake Awards, didn't they? They did. That was a big thing for O-linemen, right? It's like, okay, you knew that you were dominating your opponent if you could put him on his back, and because then you really know you're imposing your. That's who you'd have. That's why it was. I remember this. I remember 4 weeks earlier, I dislocated this arm in that Packer game, 90 degrees, right? And they're like, "You got to get back." And I'm like, "What?" I mean, the next day or whatever, I'm flying out to Alabama to see the surgeons, and they're like, "No, you don't need surgery," because they were able to snap it back in. But he goes, "You're going to have to strengthen those ligaments." So they were doing all the just everything from a Coke can slapping on my head, right, doing the rehab. And 4 weeks later on Halloween, I got to go against Warren Sapp. Got one moment for me because I couldn't rely on two hands. I had to play everything technique, inside-out conscious, and I really believe that game was pivotal. We ended up shutting Warren Sapp down, no sack, averaged, and I just used everything against him. So if he's on his left side, I knew he was going to go all the way up. On the right side, he was an up and under guy. So it was one of those things you studied and said, okay, how am I going to do this? Otherwise, if you didn't figure anything out, right, if you didn't change your thinking, you were going to get ready to get embarrassed on Monday Night Football about anyone. Whether it's at pro level, but just success in general. Success in general is not normally given to just one person because of their talent. You better look deeper into who was the person that orchestrated the inner desire and fine-tuned that, right? Everyone before John was a coach, he was an outstanding player. Set all kinds of awards. And so, but the thing that's still the same is somebody stepped out, somebody poured into time, somebody brought that out, right? You don't just own that. Get some cats that hung around over there want to talk to you. Autograph. Maybe all hold your glasses. Forearm shiver. Let's get it on tape. I'll hold the glasses. We'd like to thank our listeners for hanging out. Thank you guys and everybody that's here today. It's quite a show. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back next Saturday.
Come out tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Come out tonight. All these guys will be out tonight, running around the high school. Thank you for having us. Thanks a lot.
The Cheap Seats Live Saturday morning sports show. CM 96.3 and brought to you by James Furnishings, 1100 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln.